Hello there, it's Carrie Rhodes here. Welcome back to my YouTube channel and a new paper crafting video. Today I am playing with an A2 size envelope builder die set, new from the Trinity Stamps shop, and I am making a shaker envelope. I'm going to share with you some tips and tricks on how to use this die set. So here's the main die that cuts out the A2 size envelope base. It's almost 11 inches long, and there are two different dies to create the side flaps. Those three dies right there are going to create the envelope, plus you have all these extra dies. This die right here creates the liner for the envelope, and you can see it's a full-size liner. There's also some dies that cut out stamped, like postage stamp images, a frame that has scallops and little cutouts in each scallop. There's also some sentiments. Happy birthday, thank you, to, and hi. They also have shadow layers. So let's jump in and die cut out an envelope. You can take an 8.5 by 11 piece of cardstock, die cut out the 3 pieces. If you have a large die cutting machine like I have, the Platinum die cutting machine from Spellbinders. If you don't have this die, I'm going to show you how to cut this out with your standard die cutting machine. So here's what it looks like die cut out from one sheet of 8.5 by 11 cardstock in this light blue color. You can see I have both of the flaps that are going to go on either side of this envelope, and that is going to create exactly what we need to fit an A2 size card. So here, if you cut your paper at 6 inches, you're going to have the perfect sized piece to cut out the main piece of the envelope. You can see it fits on there almost perfectly, and then you can use the other piece to die cut out those side flaps. Now, most die cutting machines, even the Platinum 6 with the extended universal platform, is not long enough to fit this envelope. So if you don't have one of those extended platforms, what you can do is run this through with part of it hanging off, and then you're just going to have to resituate everything, scoot it down, and die cut out the other end. So with just 2 passes through your die set, this is going to work for you beautifully. So no stress that this die is extra long. It's going to work out just fine. And once that's die cut out, you can use that extra piece, like I said, to die cut out those side flaps needed to turn this into an actual envelope. So here you can see what this red envelope looks like. There's only a score line at the bottom flap, and I'm going to show you why in just a minute, but let's go ahead and die cut out those side flaps for the red envelope. So I'm going to show you 2 envelopes today. One is going to be the shaker, one is going to be a plain envelope with just all these fun dies in the set. So I'm taking the flaps and using a crease tool. This is a Teflon crease tool from Trinity Stamps, and it's like ergonomic. It's so handy, nice heavy weight that allows you to turn your scored lines into crisp creases. All right, let's add some double stick tape. This is the rip and stick tape in 1/4 of an inch width. I'm putting that on those little tabs that the die created for me, and that is the part that's going to attach to the envelope. So let me show you the way I don't like to add it, which is like this. I'm not sure that it's exactly lined up, but if you fold your die and add it so that you can see the back part of the envelope and attach it that way, I find it much easier to line up. So I'm using that bottom score line as a guide and the edge of the envelope. And then you just fold it up, it's ready to go. But we need to address the liner. So the liner, you're going to need about 7 inches of paper in length by about 6 inches of paper to create this liner. If you like pattern paper packs that are 6 by 6, don't worry, you can totally do that too. I'll show you that in a moment, but here's that liner. It has the top score line. So what I'm going to do is add this to my envelope. And by the way, somebody gave me a tip recently with envelope liners. They like to only glue that top flap and leave the bottom one loose, and that way the envelope folds better. It doesn't bubble up and warp. So I love that tip, and I'm passing it on to you. All right, so here we have the liner. It's full liner all the way to the bottom. I love it. So I just took my T-square ruler, lined this up, and used my crease tool to go over that already existing scored line, and I was able to transfer it onto the envelope itself. So that was quick and easy to do with a ruler and a crease tool. So there we have our fully lined envelope. Now this one, I am not going to close it up. I'm going to leave it open. But for the second one, I am going to close it up. So having a full liner isn't as important as it is on the other one. So I don't have to cut the full 7 inches of paper. I can have just a little bit hanging below the envelope. This is about, I believe, 1 3/4 inches, and it's not going to show that the liner doesn't go all the way down because the envelope will be sealed up on the sides. So you can see the envelope liner, you're going to have a little bit of a border with the top flap of the envelope all the way around. I love that look. So first, before closing it up, I will transfer that scored line to the base of the envelope just like that, and then I can now seal up those sides. So first, I do like the crease tool when you have the extra paper there. It's like 2 layers of paper. So the crease tool works good for that too. I've added my rip and stick tape to that larger flap instead of the side pieces. So I know I'm not going to go out too far, in too far, up too high with the scored tape. And there is the envelope, and you just can't tell. So you can use a 6x6 piece of paper or smaller to make your envelope liner. Okay, there is this frame piece that cuts out a really great A2 sized panel. So this can go on the front of your card. It can also go on the front of your envelope, which is what I'm going to do. Now, when you make a custom envelope, it's not necessarily going to be the envelope that you send in the mail, although it can be. But if you want to make a super special envelope for something you're going to hand deliver, I like to do some special things. Now remember, you can also save the frame when you die cut out that front panel and use that as well. Here's a look at the stamp, the postage stamp. Let's not get confused because we're all stampers here, right? The postage stamp die that I'm sticking on the front to decorate it up. And then we're going to look at those sentiments. So I'm going to die cut out the word hi from a piece of white glitter paper that's backed with a rip and stick sheet, turning my die cut into a sticker. And then I can add that onto the already die cut shadow layer that you see there on the screen, and it sticks down beautifully because this is a really thin and delicate die cut. So having that like sticker backing on it makes it so easy to stick it down. Also, the little dot for the eye, which is called a tittle, stuck into the die. So I just laid the die over my die cut, pressed it out with my pickup tool, that pokey end, and it sat there perfectly. It was so easy to do with that tiny little die cut. I'm going to add this to the point of my red envelope, so you have a little something there when someone opens up the card, and I think that's a really fun detail. And then we're going to add another postage stamp because I thought it just looked kind of bare all by itself with one, so 2 is more fun. All right, now let's move on to the shaker part of this video. I have a large piece of cardstock at 5 3/4 by 4 3/8 that I die cut out that frame, and it's going to roughly fit that entire envelope panel. I'm going to use this as the frame for my shaker, so I'm backing it with a piece of window sheet. I'm going to line the entire thing with some foam strips from Trinity Stamps, and then I'm going to add my shaker bits, which are called Snowfall shaker bits, and I'm going to back it with that same pattern paper I used for my envelope liners. And I'm telling all of you this now because somehow I didn't record that part of the video. So here you can see my shaker already built with the shaker bits inside it. Those are called Snowfall. They have different sizes, different colors, and different shapes in this little bit. There's like little stars in there too. Blue, white, clear, iridescent, silver. It's so cool. So I thought I'd show you the embellishment mix before it went in, and there's also 2 other new ones too, so check those out. They're in the description box. But next, let me show you the new Simply Sentimental Mary stamp set, which you see on the left, and die set that you see on the right. The die set is going to cut out the stamped images, but also be a shadow layer for those die cut words. So the die set is completely standalone, plus it works with the stamp set. And there's also Simply Sentimental Christmas. I'm going to use the stamped images today, plus both sets have sub-sentiments you can put with your Merry or your Christmas. You don't have to use these sets together, but you totally can. So I'm going to use this open letter This is one of my favorite fonts in the Simply Sentimental, and I like it because I can color them in. So I am using some B markers to create an ombre effect on the word Mary. I'm going to do each letter exactly the same on the word Mary. So BG09 for my darkest, BG07 for my first midtone, BG05, and my lightest then is B02. So there it is, all colored up. It's very cool. And for Christmas, I decided to go with reds. I just knocked over my markers. Okay, so next we're using R89, R59, R39, and R29 for the red on Christmas. And I'm going to do every letter exactly the same, and it looks so cool. I love coloring these ombre, or like if you did a Halloween, you could do like candy corn colors. I've done them where they kind of look like flames. Like, it's just really fun. Plus, if you love this letter, we have this in a stamp set and a die set that's an alphabet. So you got to check that out. I'll link it for you below too, as well as these two cool stamp and die sets. So I am gluing that down to the front of my shaker panel that's on the front of my envelope, and we're going to add to you. So it's going to say Merry Christmas on the front and then to you on the envelope flap itself. I use that same white glitter paper. This time my shadow layer is red to match the red in my pattern paper. The pattern paper is actually where I got my color inspiration, which is one of the things I love about using pattern paper. You can just take your color combination right from that. So I'll glue these down to the envelope flap. This time I'm going to just put them midway and put them side by side. I'm going to add a little something different to the point of the envelope, which you'll see as we get further into the video. This one's going to have the traditional shape postage stamp in the corner there, and then we're moving on to some sentiments. This is the Insider Sentiment stamp set, and it's got a really cool die set that die cuts out these embossed edged frames. They're so cool, and these sentiments are made to go on the inside of your cards, or in this case, on the inside of your envelope. So I stamped, "Not even Santa could bring a better friend." It is my favorite sentiment from this set. I die cut it out with the coordinating rectangle die, and you saw that super cool embossed frame. It's like a label. It's so good. I love it. So I added that to the inside flap of this envelope. Also in the same stamp set, we have hearts, or a heart, a snowflake, and a star. So we're going to stamp those, die cut them out, add them to my shaker card. One of them, look how cute. So cute. One of them is going on the postage stamp, and the second one is going to go on the point of the envelope. I tell you, I had so much fun decorating these envelopes and making them extra special. I think this is something that somebody can cherish for a long time. The envelope and the card. It's just extra special. Okay, for the red envelope, I am going to stamp this sentiment that says Season's Greetings, and then you see it has like a little sub-sentiment with it. I thought it really looked like an address, so it's like my faux address, because this is going to be a card, like I said, that gets hand-delivered. And then I'm going to stamp the heart from this same set in a really dark ink, and then add that to my postage stamp. Again, I liked that look with something added to the postage stamp, and I thought this little heart die cut out was super cute for this card. So I'll add that. Look how cute. Just a solid, simple heart. Like, everybody needs that stamp in their life. You can just stamp that directly on the point of your envelope. And then for the smaller postage stamp, I brought back the Simply Sentimental Mary. There's a tiny little word Mary that looks like it's typed with a typewriter. I stamped that to the side to finish off that envelope. So the thing about these envelopes is they need some type of closure, right? So I'm going to show you my closure for these momentarily. I also want to show you the card that I made to go in this. Now, the card making is not in this video. I have a short video for that I'll share with you. The making of, but I'll just show you the card here. So it also has a shaker window, and it's got some fun new things from Trinity Stamps, a tag set, that cute polar bear set with the little penguins. I've got more insider sentiments there, you see, warm wishes, and the shaker bits that I put in the envelope are also in there. I added a few extra stars, but that card is super thick because it's a shaker. So I'm modifying my envelope to hold it and make it thicker. So what I'm doing is adding another scored line about 1/4 of an inch out from the original score line. And that I'm just using my ruler and taking the hash marks on the ruler, lining up the edge of the hash marks with my patterned paper, and it is uniform all the way around on all sides of my envelope. So I'm going to fold on those lines, and it's going to give me more of a boxy envelope. And here is the closure for the envelope, just a little bit of Velcro. I found some really lightweight, thin Velcro at a store once when I was shopping like years ago. It was on clearance. I bought all of it. So I have a ton, but you can look on Amazon and things for the thin Velcro. And then I can open this up kind of like a present and have a place to store this super fat shaker card. And then it has a shaker itself. It's like the whole thing is a gift in and of itself. And so here's the other envelope. I have yet to make a card for that one, but I also added a Velcro closure to that. I think it's my favorite way to do these because it makes them a little bit more special. I mean, they're already special, but it makes it a little bit more reusable, I guess. Yeah. More of a keepsake. So make sure you check out my YouTube shorts so you can see the making of this card. I will add that video as well linked below so you can go find that easily. And I will be back again very soon with another video just for you. So make sure you subscribe if you're new. Say hi to me in the comments below because I love to chat with you. Happy stamping. Bye.